HSS Florida. HSS ranked number 1 in orthopedics for 15 years in a row by U.S. News and World Report. HSS brings world-class care to Palm Beach and Wellington. Whether it's a joint replacement, sports injury, or orthopedic trauma, HSS Florida treats athletes of all ages. Visit hss.edu/Florida to schedule your consultation today. HSS Florida, where champions and everyday people alike get the care they need to stay at the top of their game.
The Cleveland Orchestra returns to Miami this May for a final weekend of extraordinary concerts. An electrifying program you won't want to miss, featuring Holst's epic orchestral suite, The Planets. The Cleveland Orchestra in their final Miami concerts, May 2nd and 3rd at the Adrian Arsh Center. Tickets at arshcenter.org.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the number 1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at KaiserGolfCenter.com.
It's Friday. You know what that means. Phew. You made it. It's Friday. You don't know? Oh, okay. No problem. ESPN 106.3 all day. ESPN 106.3. You'll get it.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy!
Light him up, Colin!
Friday, April the 18th. Thank you. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 2-hour program ahead live from the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Come along for us as this ride. We got a little NBA playoff action, a little play-in action, I should say, tonight. And then the playoffs, of course, tipping off with NBA Saturday tomorrow and then NBA Sunday with the 4 in a row. Quadruple header, if you will. So, should be a lot of fun. We got a lot to talk about. Miami Heat for starters. We got a little, it's a birthday.
It's Colin's birthday, folks. It's Colin's birthday.
Do I say
it?
Oh, he had this. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no words to the song. It's
I was going to say, but
Mike fills the lyrics.
I wanted to just want to play for a little bit, but Christian, it's Colin's birthday, and shocker, Colin doesn't believe in celebrating a birthday. Shocker.
It's never been my thing.
Shocker. He's not birthday guy.
It's nice to chat with the first 10 texts of the day are great. Everything after that, it's just a lot. No?
Family members calling.
God, family members calling. Yeah. And that's fine. I'm happy to do that. That's fine. But the guy who I had English class with my sophomore year at college, I don't need an Instagram DM saying happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bro.
Don't need that. I got one of those today.
Yeah.
What, did you indicate that it was your birthday on your Instagram?
I think he saw via somebody else's
Post.
something.
I was going to say, if you shared that post on
I don't do
yours,
that.
you are
You're
responsible.
asking for it.
No,
Yeah, you're
I don't do that. No. He found out somehow, some way.
I shared that it was my 30th birthday. It's a milestone birthday. So, like, and Colin being 23, he doesn't have a milestone birthday for 7 years.
Now, this is not a milestone. 23 is a nothing birthday.
No, it's your Bron year. It's your Michael Jordan year. But
Jason
other than
Richardson.
That, yeah. Nice, dude. Through the legs dunker. Loved him in the dunk
But,
contest.
this is an uneventful birthday. You know? That's it.
For sure. I mean, 20,
It doesn't feel special.
no, but it
21 is great because it's 21.
Yeah.
22 still feels like almost a hangover of 21. And then 23, every birthday from now on serves as a reminder.
correct. It's every birthday from here on out,
It's
Colin,
a reminder.
it's a countdown to 30. That's what it really is.
It's
Countdown.
a reminder.
It's a countdown to
Get
30.
your life together. And they just say it in a different font every year until you're 30. And then when you're 40, it's, all right, we're the kids. And then when you're 50, hey, is retirement going to be in good shape in 10, 15, 20 years?
Right.
And then you get to 60, and then I don't even know what the 60 milestone would be. 70, you're probably thinking about grandkids. 23? Anything?
No, it's the countdown to 30.
Do you get anything as a 23-year-old? In West Palm, you do.
Yeah.
Because half these bars are 23 plus.
We couldn't get Colin into the local watering hole that we all like to go to, and now he's, he doesn't have to pretend to be somebody else now.
Hold on. Whoa. Be careful.
Perfect.
That never happened, by the way. But yeah, I don't know. It's an uneventful birthday. I've never been a huge birthday guy. It's always like...
Even in college, you and the buddies celebrate.
What do you do? Yeah, in college, you do what you got to do.
Did you go to Red Brick, get a couple $1 beers?
Yeah,
you
do whatever you got to do there. That's fun. But I was going out anyway, you know?
So you don't... The girls take birthday to another level. I've heard of birthday month, birthday week.
Birthday month is outrageous.
Absolutely
birthday
outrageous.
Week I can listen to. I can listen to birthday week.
I've seen a couple of posts recently of a couple of acquaintances of mine letting me know that it's their birthday month and that the celebrations begin.
I can listen to week.
No,
if it falls on a Tuesday and there's nothing eventful
one day.
and you want to carry it over to the weekend,
I
wouldn't have a huge problem with that.
Let me rephrase. If you want to celebrate your birthday on the weekend, perfectly fine with that. But to let me know that it's hashtag birthday month, it's a little much.
Month is too much.
It's a little much.
You got to stop doing that. I think 25's got to be a milestone, right?
No, it's just 5 years, 30.
I don't know.
5 years.
You could rent a car?
Yeah. I guess I did rent a car when I was 25, right? When I was
to celebrate?
Not to celebrate, but Colin, you'll learn. 25 is when wedding season truly started for me. That's when a lot of my buddies started to settle down. So I had a wedding to go to when I was 25 in the great state of Florida. And my brother and I were both there. And he goes, you know what, Mike, can you rent the car? I'll Venmo you the money. He goes, you can use it for your credit? And I'm like, absolutely. Let's do it.
That was a change.
Yeah, it was. Definitely.
So you could go up to Hertz. You could go up to...
Yep.
I'm blanking on the other ones.
Hertz,
Enterprise. Yeah, and you could go to those and get it. And actually, I'm
Right.
2 years away from that, which is a stupid rule.
Yeah, I'm pretty dumb.
That is a stupid
There's
rule.
probably some workarounds.
Are there hotel rules with 22 or 23? Aren't there hotels that
I think you need
are tricky about that?
I thought it's 21 and you need a credit card for hotels.
Maybe I'm wrong on that.
I thought it was 21
I thought you had
and
to be a
credit
little
card.
older. By yourself, I think.
Right. But
Maybe I'm wrong on that. I think I totally am wrong on that.
it's Christian, do you?
I was getting hotel rooms at 18 years old.
I was about to say.
As a freshman in college.
As long as you have a credit card.
I always thought that was
As long as you have a credit card, the funds for the incidental, they'll give anybody a hotel room.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also nowadays, you can get a rental car. You just have to pay a lot more money to get the rental car.
That's why I said I think there's some workarounds.
Is that true? With every car, though, you could get every type of car? Pickup
don't know
trucks?
about any type
I
of
don't know.
car.
I mean, who's renting a pickup truck?
Usually I get an SUV. Like I've rented a car about 3 or 4 times. I've gotten an SUV because, you're going to be driving around.
You know what's great rules?
What's
U-Haul. U-Haul has great rules because they don't have any of those restrictions.
When did you use a U-Haul to move down here?
No. To get
Wisconsin?
a couch once.
Oh, yeah.
You get a U-Haul, it's like $30 in and out.
Yep.
They hey, you got a driver's license? Yeah. All right, here are the keys. Bring it back.
Sign in the dotted line.
It's great.
Sign your life away.
Why isn't budget like this? Why isn't enterprise like this?
A car's. I was about to say a car's a little more tricky. Granted, the U-Haul is technically a vehicle, so I don't know. Very interesting. Maybe they're worried about giving some shade ball. A no names please branded car.
You know what was weird too? When I turned 21, which is like I guess the major milestone birthday.
Yeah.
When legally you go to the bar, the whole thing. Your world opens up when you're 21. I was in Italy. So I was studying abroad in Florence. Everything there is 18.
Yeah,
so the 21 there is 18.
Yeah, the moment you turn into an adult,
it was uneventful.
Yeah.
Too. That was another uneventful one.
Right.
It was a Wednesday.
So I was at OU by then, and I made it till about 12:45, and then the boys had to take me home.
Oh.
Let's put it this way. Class was over at like 2, Kyle, 21st birthday, and we started very early. Through a house party, then we went to the bar.
What day of the week was this?
This was a Thursday.
Okay.
Grant, I think Thursday the best day in college.
Yeah.
Because Friday
You usually don't have class.
Light.
You usually don't have classes.
Correct. So, but yeah, this is about you.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. My 21st.
Yeah.
My 21st, I went for a run in Siena, Italy, and I got tendonitis in my foot. And then my roommate, who I was living with at the time, who's now at Harvard Law, who was from a town of 300 people in northern Wisconsin, who didn't have a stoplight for within 100 miles of where he lived.
All right, so he lived in the sticks.
Yeah, and he got me a singular balloon that said "Happy Birthday."
That's awesome.
And it was a nice little moment for us.
That's awesome, though, dude.
It was a nice little moment, and we lived in a closet together. And this was like month 3. This room was half the size of this studio that we're in right now.
How long did that balloon last in the room?
A couple days.
That's it?
Yeah.
I would have tried to extend it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See how long the balloon could go?
Yeah. The high ceilings. We lost it after about 4 or 5 minutes. So it's up there. All right.
So you were in wine country. Where were you though? Italy?
I was in Florence, Italy.
So we went wine country.
We did a school trip, and I don't know. I turned 18 and no 18. I turned 21, and my family called me, and it was later in Italy because it was 11 o'clock when it was 5 p.m. in the Eastern Seaboard, and. Thanks, guys. And then I could still go anywhere and do anything I want, so nothing necessarily changed. It was an uneventful milestone birthday on that front.
Let me ask you, who was the first to call today? Who's the first person?
To call or text?
Just to contact you.
I got a call. I got up to swim.
5?
Yeah. And then I ran after, and I was done with that about 7:30. I was on Do Not Disturb.
D&D, yeah.
So... By 7:45, my mother called me. So my mother might have been first.
Yeah, mom usually
But I had a couple texts beforehand. I think Christina Costanza was early, too, our director of marketing here at ESPN West Palm. She was early.
She's also a host of the show before this one, yeah.
She's also a host of the show before this one. What is that called again?
Happy Hour. Theoretically speaking.
Of course. But she was early, so I give her credit. I don't know.
I knew I was going to see you.
You were, yeah.
I'm an in-person guy.
Right.
10 o'clock.
Which is no problem.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I'm an in-person guy.
And I think it was my mother. Good for you, Mom.
Right.
Good for you.
Yeah, as moms are like, God bless my mother too, Kyle. She'll let me know when it's like my auntie's birthday. You know what I mean? She's that person that lets me know that she is birthday person.
My brother called me. He was a basketball coach at Northern Arizona. And I'm like, what are you doing today? He's like, we just lost another recruit.
You're too hard on Timmy. You are way too hard on Timmy.
And we started breaking down the Northern Arizona's NIL situation. If you're a donor, please.
You are way too hard on Timmy. I can't wait.
Tough job. I agree. It's a tough job.
I can't wait till he's running a D1 program one day.
That is a D1 program, and he's
running it. You know what I mean? Running the show. It's the head coach.
NIL's. Yeah, it's just. They're behind the 8 ball. You want to talk about the people who get burned by NIL? Look no further than Northern Arizona. That was what we broke down today. They had to scour the Phoenix area for JUCO players that are, looking for D1 opportunities.
Sisters, other brother?
Yeah, everybody reached out, so we're all good there. Good job. All right. Not bad. Parents called together. Got to do that. Two birds, one stone.
Yep. Perfect.
No problem. All right. Decent day. So that's not bad.
Now you're stepping out tonight.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to go out tonight.
No.
No?
No.
You're not hitting the town? You're off tomorrow. Or no?
Yeah.
You have to build a sports desk.
I built the desk today. Took me about 4
hours.
hours.
It's today.
It took me about 4 hours.
Stop it.
Do you know that
Stop it!
Do you know the National Polo Center of the United States is in Wellington, Florida?
No, I did
I
not
had no
know
idea.
That. I did not know that.
It's this giant polo, and Chris Fowler is going to be doing it on ESPN on our sports desk. How about that?
How about?
And it took about 3 hours to get it in, but I mean, we figured it out.
3 hours?
Well, it took a while.
3
it
hours?
took about an hour. and a
I've
half.
seen you put that thing together in 15 minutes.
There were some intricacies we had to work out. It was different. It was different this time around. But
Wow.
yeah, so I had to set up the desk today in the heat with one of our part-timers. It was Sam, the guy who I lost the chairs with.
Did you guys lose anything
Yeah,
along the way?
it was almost like Jordan and Pippen. We were looking behind us the whole time.
Now what's I'm interested here. Chairgate. Remember, I know you were going to do a private investigation, and for those of you who don't know, Colin and this part-timer Sam that he alluded to lost two
director's
chairs on their way to the Jackie Robinson training facility.
Not cheap.
Very, very much so. Christina Costanza said 3 of them were $650. So
did she say that?
Yeah, she did. Wow. So Kyle Lawsey, you said you were running your own private investigation. Did you conclude your investigation?
I've concluded that, first of all, this Brian Rowitz drove all the way, and it was from West Palm to Vero Beach. They vanished out of the back of the truck. We have a company truck. They vanished. No idea where they went.
Well,
Brian Rowitz drove from here to Fort Pierce, which is essentially the entire distance.
Right.
Within it was like 2 hours, 3 hours. It was more like 4 or 5 hours after. Nothing on the sides of the roads. I studied the interior part of the highway from Vero Beach, the 71 miles down to West Palm. Nothing. I don't know where these things went.
And
there's no debris.
I passed you guys on the highway, and I saw you guys. You were You were looking.
There was no debris.
You were looking.
There was no debris. There was nothing shoved to the side of the road.
What?
I have no other conclusion to come to than they were stolen.
All trolling aside, I don't understand. I understand how one of them could have flown out, but the other one...
Lightning does not strike twice.
The one that was tucked away in the back right corner of the truck bed, I have no idea how.
Idea.
No clue.
See?
We've done that 100 times.
That's what I'm saying.
We've done that.
I don't know where these things went.
You and I have packed that truck. Honest to God, we're close to about 50 times at this point. Honest to God.
It's the same way. I have no idea. I have never been more dumbfounded in my entire life.
The first one you guys totally botched.
But I'm not going to assume the first one left just because the second one's not there. One or both of them. Maybe one. I don't understand where they went. I really don't. But we got
here. We are.
We paired up together today again. We didn't lose anything. It was basically Jordan and Pippen. Nothing wrong with that. A little bit of a duo we got.
Yeah, you guys. We
didn't lose anything.
The good news is, tragedy builds chemistry, right? And that was tragic. Chairgate was tragic, but you guys are going to grow from it, and you guys are going to learn from it.
I don't know.
You're gonna come on, man.
That's a little rough. $650.
It's all right.
That's not good.
It's all right.
What are you gonna do? You live, laugh, and you learn, right?
Yeah.
Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. NBA playoffs tipping off tomorrow. Technically, the first round. You get some play-ins tonight. You get the Miami Heat vying for a playoff spot, and therefore, if they win tonight, they lose that first-round pick that would be sent off to Oklahoma City if they were to make the postseason. So they got something on the line tonight. If you're thinking about the future of the team, the winner get their first lick at Cleveland. Is it that imperative to them to go play a 64-win Cleveland Cavaliers? We discuss that. We discuss who is possible to make a big run. Who are the sleepers of this year's playoff field? Stick around for it as we continue onward here with Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, this is Scott Smith of Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. I have said it many times before, and I will continue to say it for many years to come. There is never a good time for a car accident to occur. And most certainly, never ever a good time to suffer injuries in any type of an accident. The accident and its overall aftermath will usually cause pain, difficulty, and stress. Florida law allows accident victims to recover compensation for such losses, injuries, and damages. But such recovery is often not obtained easily and can require a lengthy fight with an insurance company. If you've been injured in an accident, call us now. Don't delay. The initial consultation is completely free of charge. The sooner you call us, the sooner we can put our experienced legal team to work for you. Don't hesitate or pause for another minute. Our experience, knowledge, and resources could be working for you just minutes after the call. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
Dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, JOEQ. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
The new Spring Blizzard menu is here at DQ Grill & Chill. Cue the confetti. The blizzard of the month is the Confetti Cake Blizzard, a delightful blend of confetti cake pieces and confetti frosting, mixed perfectly with DQ's world-famous soft serve. The Confetti Cake Blizzard, just part of the new Spring Blizzard menu, which also features s'mores, cotton candy, and 2 brand new blizzards, dipped strawberry cheesecake, and mixing bowl mashup. DQ Grill & Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Been in a car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall, had an accident of any kind. My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys are the type to fight for you. I know with Anajar and Levine, they got my back no matter what. They don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Listen, they're the best in the business for a reason. Don't just settle for any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. All it takes is one phone call. Take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for that free consultation today. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. We got Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, and Christian Cat with you on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X as well at ESPN West Palm. The NBA playoffs, I think tomorrow is one of my favorite sports days. Top 12 sports days of the year. The weekend, I should say.
You just say top 12.
Yeah. I love
Is that I got it. Even
don't say that. It's not because of WrestleMania. It's not because
That's
of WrestleMania.
true. They did split it into 2 days now, so it lessens the effects. Yeah.
All right, if I'm getting my mic muted yesterday about the Battle of Gondor, we need to mute the mic over there.
Saturday and Sunday I love because you got 4 NBA games, a quadruple header in 2 straight days. And usually some of these games are not always great, but it's just great. It kicks off it kicks it off, and you got the NHL starting. Oh, it's a good weekend.
This marks. It's funny. I had this conversation with buddies. This is the start of the NBA season, right? This is the start of the season.
I got into that clip.
This is the start, man.
I got into that Clipper Warrior game on Sunday. Maybe that was the start for me, and I was in tune with the Grizzlies.
Could finally watch this league.
So when the Grizzlies needed to get 1 win against Dallas, that I was tuned in for.
That's what my buddies are saying, man. We can finally watch this product. But there's a lot of good ones. I think at 1 o'clock, Colin, tomorrow, that's a great one. Bucks and Pacers.
That's the NBA TV series, yes.
Seriously?
It's on ESPN, but
yeah,
that's
okay.
I think game
It'll
2.
get moved. It'll get moved.
No, but game 2 and because they do that because ESPN has the whole day.
Right.
On Tuesday and Thursday, I believe that's the NBA TV. They have one series where they condemn to the NBA TV, and this year it's Bucks Pacers.
Dare I think it's going to be a good one? Dare I say this
and Lillard,
this goes 7.
Lillard got his blood clots cleared So
He's
going to miss probably the first couple games. He's got to get back to form.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, if that series goes to 6 or 7 a week for 2 weeks from now, a week and a half from now, however long that would be, I could see Lillard coming back here before the end of that series.
30, 11, and 6. That's what Giannis is averaging this year. By far the best player in the series. Whenever you have the best player in the series, you're always going to have a chance to advance. There have been some interesting conversations. Specifically, Kyle, I was listening on Sportsmanlike with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman. And Canty and Freddie was our good buddy Freddie Coleman actually filling in for Evan. And they had conversations along the lines of what we were having when we were at the Jackie Robinson training facility earlier in the week, in the sense of, is Giannis going to, is enough, if you lose first round, is enough enough? You know, when is enough enough? Is he going to maybe request a trade? Is he going to be a disgruntled superstar? I mean, I think everything's on the table. I think everything's on the table if the Bucks do lose the series. Now, to your point,
it's an injury thing.
Lillard.
Yeah, it's an injury thing.
But, and is Giannis even unhappy? I think that's the more important thing that we have to know for.
Like
but
he's searching for that first one. He already has that. There's something to be said about
I really don't think it's a stretch, though, to think that he's going to be upset if they don't get out of the first round this year, because they haven't had a lot of success in the recent years.
Part of you thinks, I mean, for the better part of 7 years, he's been top 5 in MVP voting. He's been readily available. Now, he's had a couple blotches on his postseason career, that series against Miami, the whole thing. He has had his bad moments, but this guy is in his prime, and he is a top 5 player in basketball, easy. And if the Milwaukee Bucks in a terrible Eastern Conference with him on the court and with I don't like giving him credit, but with a coach that's won a championship in Doc Rivers, and you can't escape the first round of the Eastern Conference?
Right. But we've known when the pressure is the highest, like in Game 7, Doc is just not.
Rivers stinks in a big game.
Yeah.
But the point being, how many teams are like that? There's not a lot of opportunity, like playoff winning coaches or championship winning coaches, and it's not fair to give. Yeah, there's a pedigree attached. And this is a team that won a championship a couple years ago, 3 years ago. So I agree with you on the sense of what point do you think reflectively at where are we going to go from here?
Right, and maybe enough is enough.
And they were one of the oldest teams in the league for years on end. They tried to get younger at the deadline. They did a little bit. But still, that is an aging roster. They're going to need a little bit of a couple new tools here and there. They haven't drafted particularly well. A couple piece players here and there.
Yep.
But the Bucks, just because they have a motivated superstar at the helm, I would lean them in the series.
I would too.
He could take over a series. That's how good he is.
You look at the Indiana side. Halliburton's a great player. I'm not trying to discredit anything they did. They won 50 games this year, 18 points, 9 assists a game. He's truly a scorer and a facilitator. But outside of Halliburton, I really question everything else on that team.
They were good in the postseason. They're great in the pick and roll. Weirdly enough, they're pretty good in clutch moments.
Siakam's, Benedict Mathurin, Siakam.
They got underrated. They're very good defensive
suspects.
team. Yeah, and it's a dangerous team. I would lean Giannis here because of the stature and the prowess of him. And I think, weirdly enough, they have a couple good, if Lillard can come back, they have a couple good postseason players. And the fact that I think Lillard got healthy tells them, all right, well, let's survive the next 2 weeks while he's getting back to form if he's going to be healthy. If it's going to be possible to get him back. I don't know the timetable. Maybe he's completely out of shape. He's been completely immobile, and he's going to have to work his way back up. But if you could get him back, all of a sudden doors open up, and you could challenge teams.
Is Dame still Dame time? Is he still the big time player?
He doesn't need to be Dame time. He needs to be.
I think he does though. In order to go
Giannis needs to be Giannis. He needs to be very good. He doesn't need to be otherworldly Lillard against the Warriors.
If the Bucks were to make a run, this is all hypothetical with Lillard being back. If they were to make a run,
they need that.
And like to compete with a Cleveland or a Boston, you need Lillard to be Dame time and doing what the reason you got him for, right? Pulling up in clutch moments and being able to pull through.
Yeah. And like closing out and killing the Thunder's dreams
a
couple of years ago when he had that basically half-court shot over Paul George.
Kyle stepping up in the clutch.
He eliminated the Houston Rockets on that game-winning jumper when they were up 3-2 over Dwight Howard. He's had his moments. This guy's a playoff performer. So I agree. If the Bucks can survive a couple weeks here and get Lillard back, dangerous team. Now, I think the series I have the most intrigue in and I'm probably the most back and forth on is that Clipper-Nuggets series.
Yeah, I knew you were going to go there.
That's 3:30 p.m. That's the second game on that slate on the Saturday. Think about that for a second. That is two teams you sort of trying to get a read on.
Correct. And Leonard playing at an efficient level.
Leonard getting a month and a half of Kawhi. That never happens.
Never. And Harden has been playing well, too. Almost a triple-double, but 22, 5, and 8. Really good.
He's had a very good Clippers tenure.
He really has. And I think a lot of people, including myself, kind of wrote him off after the whole Houston experiment didn't work. And you question injuries, too. But
I mean, he was great for you. I can't knock it. I can knock him for the Nets. I thought he was the weak link at the Nets, and he kind of took over that team when they didn't necessarily need somebody like him.
After the Rockets, I really questioned if, he was going to be able to figure things out, be that MVP caliber player he was.
But the thing about Harden that I got to give credit for is he has his lows, he has his highs. But that is the same guy, and I know Chris Paul was a big catalyst of that team. But in 2018, they were up 3-2 on the Warriors with a healthy Durant trying to go back-to-back, and Curry and all those guys. And they were up 3-2 when Chris Paul hurt his hamstring in the Western Conference Finals. That team was a game away from putting that team away.
Yep.
And Paul goes down, and then the famous Game 7 where they missed 30 straight threes, and it was one of the more pathetic performances they've ever seen. That team was Clint Capella, P.J. Tucker, Harden, Paul. And Eric Gordon. It was a fascinating team. The fact that he was able to do that tells you that, Harden and Kawhi, we know how good of a postseason player he is. That team is dangerous. Talk about another opportunity with a championship-winning head coach, too, Ty Lue. That's a dangerous team.
Yep.
I'm very intrigued. And that Denver's got all the pressure in the world on them. I think if there's a team with a lot of pressure, we talk about the 1 seeds, fair. But Denver has got to do something. You want to blow it all up with 3 games remaining in the regular season and get rid of your head coach and get rid of your general manager and Mike Malone and Calvin Booth, and then all of a sudden, whether it's a Jokic decision, whether he had a hand in it, they have to do something.
They do.
They lose in 6. This is going to look poorly for them.
And I go to the Joker being in his prime. If we're going to sit here and split hairs about Giannis being upset in Milwaukee, I mean, obviously we're not in the locker room. We don't know the main reason why Mike Malone got let go. We can only speculate on reports. But put yourself in the Joker's shoes.
Yeah.
Never play. You mentioned to me the other day, he's never played with an all-star. They fired the head coach 5 games before the regular season ends.
Which he totally knew about.
But at the same time, if you're the Joker and you lose first round, you're looking at that operation, how Giannis might look at the operation over with the Bucks.
Now, the one thing about that, I agree. Giannis is in a different scenario. He's got Doc Rivers sitting there. They don't make the changes. Denver just cleaned it all out. And there's no way, 0% chance that Giannis did not at least give his approval in making those moves. They're not going to ask Giannis if they want to get rid of the coach with 3 games remaining.
If anything,
or not Giannis, Jokic.
Yeah.
They're not going to ask him. Jokic do.
I'm going to say both of them. I think both of them had a huge hand in that.
Absolutely, and one was 40 games into the season.
Right.
There's an argument there.
Okay.
At game 79, that's why I can't see Jokic. What now you're going to turn your back on the team?
Right.
After they just cleared everything out, probably with your stamp of approval at the final letter of it all, and then you're going to walk away? When they're finally going to get a new GM and a new coach that is going to probably be recruited at the prospect of coaching you.
And Jokic doesn't seem like the type.
Doesn't seem like the type. Yeah, seems like he likes
to force
Denver.
himself out of a place. Neither does Giannis. To be completely fair,
Giannis loves Wisconsin. He loves Milwaukee.
He does. But I think I told you this on Wednesday. We're a long way away from him celebrating eating chicken nuggets at Chick-fil-A. I think too.
I think it's more possible for Giannis to force his way out than Jokic. I think Jokic would be bad optics. You could understand Giannis.
See the vision.
The reason I see the vision is from the previous regime that he just axed.
Right.
So now you're going to get rid of the regime and then you're going to get rid of the player?
Yeah. You're
going to hire a GM and his first mode of action is, hey, go trade Jokic.
Right. And I think the Joker's going to give it a fair chance. Now, to Giannis' point...
Yeah, that's not fair for Jokic to do that.
To Giannis' point, I think do you think he's given the Bucks a fair chance since 2019, the last 6 years? It's been 6 years. That's crazy.
Since they won?
2019, right?
2021. 2019 was the Raptors. 2021. It was the first year after COVID.
4 years.
Yeah.
He's given. It's a fair...
Well,
still a fair time period.
I agree. It's been an era characterized by different champions, which has been a good thing for the NBA. The Raptors got their chance. The Bucks got their chance. The Nuggets got their chance. The Celtics finally got their chance.
Yeah.
You had to deal with the Warriors again, big deal. But, it hasn't necessarily been dominated by one dynasty. I think that's the story of the playoffs.
Right.
Are we going to be entering another year where there's going to be an additional champion? And the parity is actually pretty good right now in the NBA. Or is somebody vying for a dynasty? Somebody vying for multiple championships in a row?
For 20 years outside of the Heat, I mean, the gatekeepers of the finals were the Lakers, the Celtics, the Spurs, the Warriors. The Cavaliers only won one, but they went multiple times. So, like, those were the gatekeepers at the time.
It was LeBron. It's not even
fair
fair.
enough.
It would just
fair
say
enough. I'll agree with
LeBron, the Warriors, the Spurs, and the Lakers. Those were the gatekeepers. The whole 2000s. That's basically it. Pistons stole one here. Fine. The Mavericks stole one. The Heat had 3. I guess you could say the Heat if you really wanted to.
Well, they had 4 counting Wade, right?
But the point being, the NBA hasn't necessarily had these differentiation and champions in a very, very long time. Then you go back earlier. The 90s, 2 teams won championships. 2.
Yeah.
Go back to the 80s. 80s had good parity. Pistons, the Sixers, the Lakers, the Celtics. That was good. So up until that point, we haven't necessarily had this fluctuation.
Is it good though?
That's great.
Okay, I like it too. But there are dynasty sell, Kyle.
Yeah, dynasty sells a story.
Sell, dynasty sell, and maybe this goes to the conversation a little bit of the carry the torch thing. I know it's ridiculous that we're worried about who's going to carry the torch for the NBA.
Good for sports, bad for business. That's what I would say.
Correct. Good for the competition, bad for business, and bad for probably eyeballs. Because the only team I think I would tune in for, outside of the Cavaliers, because it's my beloved team, the only player I really want to watch is LeBron. And I'm a LeBron stan too. But there are a ton of people out there who aren't even a LeBron stan like myself who see the Lakers are on and they'll watch LeBron
that's
for
just
15,
you being a
20
LeBron
minutes.
fan. I don't think that's necessarily about the quality of play.
But he sells. Bron sells.
Right.
He sells.
But you're a LeBron guy. But it's not. Don't talk about his marketability. He's from Cleveland.
You get the point I'm trying to make.
He's from Cleveland.
On a Wednesday, if a random sports fan is scrolling on, they're more likely to watch LeBron than Pacers and Bucks.
But I'm talking about from a team perspective. I understand the point. You're talking about the marketability of the star.
Correct.
But now you got a bunch of stars trying to vie for championships, and I think that's interesting.
Are they hungry enough?
Well, yes.
Is this current star hungry?
But you got to think. You got to think about the perspective of where the NBA is right now. It's almost like a king of the hill. You got the Celtics who had their chance at the top of the hill. They might get knocked down. You had the Nuggets who were at the top of the hill for a year. They got knocked down. Not even by the Celtics, by the T-Wolves. And you got the Bucks who they got knocked down by the Heat. You had the Raptors who got rid of Kawhi. So, all right. You had the Lakers who were right there. They've been knocked down 100 times since. The Warriors, they made that huge run. They've gotten older, but still, they've been knocked down time and time again. It's been a big king of the hill. Since Durant left Golden State, it's been king of the hill.
Yeah.
That's good for basketball. Instead of thinking about the negatives attached to it, maybe that the fact that we don't know what the finals is going to be, maybe out of the Eastern Conference, it's going to be amongst 2 teams. But the general consensus around the Western Conference is you don't know. And that's a good thing.
And right off the bat in the first round, like Timberwolves and Lakers, must-watch TV.
And you don't know who's going to win.
Exactly. Clippers, Nugs. You don't really know who's going to win that series either.
Rockets, Warriors. You don't know what you're going to expect out of the Rockets.
Right. And we could break down Sunday's games more in a little bit here, Kyle. But I mean, are you buying a Grizzlies Thunder? I'm not. But
you're going to have a bad series here and there.
You are. So Grizzlies.
You need 3 good series in the first round.
You think the series that are going to be stinkers, the Celtics series, the Cavalier series, and the Thunder series. Outside of those, I truly think they're going to be good matchups. And one we haven't talked about yet is Pistons and Knicks.
All right. 888-760-3776. A bit of a king of the hill going on around the NBA at the moment in terms of who wants to be a champion, a repeat champion. Is it going to happen this year? Are the Celtics going to repeat? Or is this good for basketball, good for the NBA, that there necessarily hasn't been a leader in the clubhouse year in and year out? This has changed year in and year out. If the OKC is able to do it, all of a sudden we're going to be looking at next year, and there's going to be 5 different champions the last 5 years. That might be good for the NBA. Might not sell as well, but I think it's good. 888-760-3776. Do you agree, disagree? Do you like the dynasties? Do you want dynasties? Do you want repeat matchups? Or is there a little bit of intrigue attached to this year's NBA playoffs? 888-760-3776. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, little Pistons, Knicks coming up on the flip side of things. Stick around for it as we continue onward here with Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
What's the Anajar and Levine difference? When you're injured in a car crash, we focus on your case so you can focus on the one thing that matters most. Getting better. I'm Glenn Levine with Anajar and Levine. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Progressive understands that bond between you and your boat. But imagine if something happened to it. Without the boat, you're just Tina with too much boat knowledge. Sure, it's helpful on the water, but with no boat, you're someone who talks way too much about knots, and no one cares what a jib is anyway. Boat Tina could get away with it because she has a boat. So make sure your boat is insured. Get Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer, and then go back to being you, Tina, who owns a boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit 1 checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, proud partner of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
ESPN West Palm is highlighting the best performance of the week, presented by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Every week, a different team will be featured across ESPN 1063 and ESPN West Palm Play. The winning performance receives $500, courtesy of Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Do you know a team, player, or school with a killer performance? Nominate them by emailing highschool@espnwestpalm.com. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Go where the pros go.
I'm only human, y'all. I'm only human, y'all. I'm only human, y'all. I'm only human, y'all.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
You know, it's getting a little hotter outside in South Florida, and I think wintertime has officially come close. And winter in South Florida, you know, is 68, and 71 and sunny. But now that's going to start to get a little stickier, a little hotter as we enter into the summer months in South Florida. You got to be making sure your air conditioning and HVAC units are up to speed, up to date. Go to CassidyAC.com. John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing right here in Palm Beach County. They're the local options. You could send out their technicians right to your home, and they make sure that they can troubleshoot, make diagnostic checks, on your system, no matter the brand or the age. It's time to check if your system needs an update, an upgrade, or to move on to a different brand. That's CassidyAC.com. They've been keeping cool and comfortable, proudly serving Palm Beach County since 1960.
I'll tell you what, I turned it down today, Kyle. I turned down the AC today. Usually I'm at home, it's like 73, 72 if I'm hanging around. I turned that down to about 70 today. Needed to stay a little chillier today.
888-760-3776, and I'm going to get into the program. I hope this is not a birthday call. I hope they have a sports take.
Birthday call!
Finn and Aaron from New York City calling in right now on Russo and Rizzo. Finn and Aaron, what are your thoughts here? Don't say anything that gets us dumped.
Birthday
please.
Call!
What's up, Cole? Happy birthday, dude. How's it going?
Hey, Colin. Happy birthday, buddy.
Appreciate it, guys. All right, NBA playoffs. I think we got a Knick fan. Aaron's a nothing fan. But
nothing.
He's a Celtic fan. Doesn't count it. But all right, Nick, Finn, you're a Knick fan. Knicks Pistons. Are you nervous about the Pistons? Give me a sense there.
I went to one game this year, Knicks game, and we played the Pistons, and we lost by 3. And Cade Cunningham had 40, 14, and 10 against us. First of all, I'm scared about him. I'm confident. I think we'll win in 6. But it's a tough first-round matchup for sure. They're a dangerous team. But our debate Aaron and I were just having was, as a Knicks fan, would you trade in the offseason OG Anunoby for Kevin Durant right now, straight up? Who is more valuable? And I think I want to keep OG. Aaron says you're crazy. Kevin Durant's Kevin Durant. I want both your guys' takes.
They would hold on. Well, you want to keep OG? Why?
Because Kevin Durant, A, is way older. B, it would make the team work.
Durant's a top 10 player in the league, though. OG Anunoby's like top 30.
Are you under the impression that the Knicks can do anything with the current roster?
Yes, I am. I think this team can win a championship.
They could beat Boston and they could beat Cleveland.
Yeah,
they didn't beat them one time, brother. Is this Finn I'm talking to? They beat them one time in the regular season.
That's the regular season. Playoffs is a different animal.
He's right. That's a good point.
Fair enough, dude.
Right.
Fair enough.
Well, hold on. If you guys lose in the first round or lose in 5 to Boston, last thing here, do you get rid of Tom Thibodeau?
I think that the Knicks won't. I wish they will, but I think the players like him too much, and so I think he will stay, but I personally would want him gone. So that's kind of my take.
All right. Aaron, as a Celtics guy, I think still, maybe I'm wrong on this, are you afraid of the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Still.
Am I afraid of the Cavaliers?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think both of them will be in the Eastern Conference Championship. I think most are expecting that. But I think the Celtics have the deeper roster, which will show come the matchup.
All right. Appreciate the call, fellas.
Thanks,
I
boys.
appreciate the birthday wishes. Had to do a little bit of get their takes. But
those are your buddies?
Yeah, 2 of them. I don't know what they're doing right
Wisconsin?
now.
Home Connecticut.
Connecticut
UConn.
buddies.
Is that the guy who stole the UConn seats from you when you were in Italy?
No, different guy.
Okay.
Different guy. He won't call in. 888-760-3776. And I'm going to get into the program right here on Russo and Rizzo. This might be another one.
Birthday call!
I don't like these.
Birthday call!
Frank in Chicago joining me now on Russo and Rizzo. Frank, welcome into the program. How we doing?
Frank the Tank.
What's up, Colin? Happy birthday, man.
Thank you. Frank, how about this? Frank is like going to med school soon, and he's a Chicago guy, and you'll be our doctor for today. Frank, you got any thoughts for me today? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I mean, coming from a more casual NBA fan, especially given, the Bulls' recent, just last couple years performance, I got to say, I definitely like having, a change of pace in the playoffs. Having a dynasty, especially considering kind of like Rizzo was saying, I don't really watch a ton of the NBA until it gets to the playoffs. So, having the same teams every year kind of makes it stale, and having it switch up a little bit makes it more fun to watch as someone who might not have a team that's competing.
So you were more into the Warriors and Cavaliers playing every single year in and year out, or you're more interested in, when the Raptors do it and the Bucks do it and then the Celtics do it, you're more interested in the latter?
Yeah, definitely the latter. Like to switch it up a little bit, keep things interesting.
Is there a team you're hitching your wagon to this year with
Good question.
With the Bulls, being out?
Yeah, I mean, my second team's the T-Wolves, so got to go with them.
Okay.
Second team.
Yeah, I don't believe in a second team, but fair play. Fair enough.
Appreciate the call, Frank. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the warm wishes as well. Frank,
hang on.
Frank's underrated. He's a smart guy. He's underrated. He's underrated.
Med school. How low do people rate him?
Where's the bar?
Bad
here?
rep somewhere?
He's underrated.
To Christian's point, where's the bar? All right, I got to ask.
Frank's underrated.
Hang on. Frank brought up something I got to ask you two about. Second teams. What do you think?
No.
I
have no problem with rooting. I have no problem with rooting for a team throughout the postseason, but calling it a second team is
I kind of have it. I guess Kentucky, like, if I'm going to be a little contradictory to myself, Kentucky technically is, like, I have no
Okay, hold on. Yeah.
Ties to Kentucky.
College, I think, is different because college is all about allegiance and ties. I don't do it with professional sports.
Obviously, graduated from OU, went to Ohio State as well. Like, that's there.
Right. That's a collegiate alliance.
And that's Ohio.
That's a little different.
Okay, yeah. But Kentucky, like, I went to games with my uncle growing up. That's my only, like, thing why I like Kentucky hoops, honestly.
Christian?
Yeah, I have a second team.
Who is it?
Giants. New York Giants in football. I root for the Giants in every game they play in, unless I want them to lose, get a better draft pick. But Ravens are my first team, and I root for the Giants.
Yeah. I'm college, I think there's definitely an argument there because I like Wisconsin and I like UConn. Well,
you don't like Wisconsin.
I like Wisconsin.
No, you don't.
I like
Christian,
Wisconsin.
back me up.
I like Wisconsin. I don't think they're good. Hold on. I don't need to be delusional in order for me to like them.
You're a pessimistic.
I'm a realistic. That's the word you're looking for. Everybody else is an optimist. I'm a realist.
So what? They think that Fickle, my guy Fickle, love Luke Fickle,
who they extended,
is going to win 9 games next year.
He's going to win 4 games.
That schedule is.
Point is, I think college. There's an argument to have multi-allegiances, whether parents. My brother was at UConn, and then I went to Wisconsin. What am I supposed to do? I mean, those are the 2 teams.
Yeah,
I grew up in Connecticut.
You grew up in Connecticut.
So yeah. So I understand that. But from a professional team standpoint, I understand hitching your wagon is probably the right way to put it. Postseason, have your team ride with that. I can't call it a second team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm a year in and year out. If I like the team, if I like certain players, if I like a story attached, then I could be like, all right, I like this team for the postseason.
It becomes your second team once you buy something or sport something or wear something that is that team's paraphernalia.
Like professional.
I don't have a view of that because I have a bunch of different teams, just like gear that I wear for no reason because I don't know.
Actually, that is kind of a younger generation. Like my generation does that too.
Right.
We're in the same generation.
Like I have a Fernando Tatis shirt I've been wearing for years, and a Fernando Tatis, it was with the old Padres shirt. I have no allegiance to the Padres. I just like that shirt.
Fair.
So yeah, I understand maybe buying a jersey.
Kyle,
Jersey's a little much.
I can't do the second pro team is a no-no. That's just such a no-go for me.
But I understand rooting for a team throughout the postseason. Like if you're rooting for Buffalo in the NFL playoffs.
Yeah, that's me. I guess that's me.
So
I have a soft spot for Buffalo.
It's situational.
I have a soft spot for Buffalo for sure.
Second team, pro sports, college teams, is it a no-go or is it a yes-go for you? 888-760-3776, number to get into the program.
I forgot I got another one. Illinois Hoops. I mean,
that's college.
It is, but that's another one because
you got 3 college teams. You got 4 college teams.
It's to the point of
4,
counting OU.
We might need to have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
We might
but
need to
I
have a
do.
conversation.
Hang on. I root for Illini basketball because I was surrounded by it for 3 years, and a good friend of mine, a mentor of mine, Jim Madsen, went there, and he kind of rubbed off on me a little bit. Illini hoops. So now we are getting the ridiculousness. But yes, when it comes to college basketball, about 4 teams. About 4 teams I'd like to see, do well.
So maybe not buy paraphernalia in general or own paraphernalia in general, but you can only buy one team's championship paraphernalia.
I don't have any championship paraphernalia.
You haven't experienced it, right? Well, you have UConn stuff.
I don't have UConn.
Yeah, you have UConn.
Yeah, I don't have UConn. I don't think so. I have a bunch of UConn like team issued gear.
But I couldn't just be
I was thinking of all the stuff I have. No, I
if
think
the Giants turned around and won the Super Bowl in the next 5 years, I should not be allowed to buy that Super Bowl
and you
shirt.
should not be allowed. What about parades?
If it's in your city,
that's location. I guess that's regional. That's
region.
regionality. Yeah, that's regionality. You got to be close.
The only I have champs. I've got God. Spit it out, Mike. I have Cavalier championship stuff and Buckeyes. That's it, because that's the only teams I've really ever seen win a champ. I do have a Kentucky shirt that is a medium. Back when I was a medium,
this is the reason to have 2 teams, though, because people will relocate down here from their northeastern cities or their midwestern cities, and when you live here for 20 years, yeah, I guess I'll root for the Heat. That's the door I can go watch basketball games.
All right, to that point, Christian, I like that. Let's do it then. If we had to pick one Florida team to hitch our wagon to, it could be college. It could be professional. Which team would it be? You got call any sport.
If I'm adding one to the directory.
If you're picking a Florida team, college, professional, what are you picking here?
Now, the one thing, I think this is more about the league than it is about the team. The NBA, if you're rooting for a bad team, a consistently bad team, I'm a Hornets fan. It's impossible. It's impossible to really stick with the pulse of the team consistently. It is. Imagine being a Charlotte Hornets fan for the last 10 years, 15 years. God, Colin. So that's what I'm saying. It's just, you
Gerald
get tuned
Wallace,
out. You get tuned out. You get tuned out. First Bobcats game I ever watched, Carmelo Anthony had 62 points in the Garden. They won by 38 points. That was the first Bobcats experience I had.
Was Gerald Wallace D'ing them up?
It was the lockout year. But my perspective is, I mean, it's hard to be an NBA fan of a team that is consistently awful. Awful. It's so easy to get tuned out. So that's why teams, they build an allegiance to a player. Cologne in New Jersey on Russo and Rizzo. Let's go to Cologne right now. Cologne, what do you got for us?
Hey, guys. What's up? Hey, listen, I don't believe in second teams. Yeah, but I do believe in rooting for certain players and hoping that the team does well. But in college, I think it's different, because I've always been a Big East guy. I grew up with the Big East, back in the 80s and 90s, and I've always rooted for Big East. So I root for basically the majority. I want the conference to do well because it's always been compared to the ACC or the Big Ten back in the day or whatever. So I want the East to do well. So I do root for multiple teams in college basketball. And also, one thing on the NBA, if I can, listen, I like what Cleveland has done. I like what Oklahoma City has done. And to me, they have to make it to the conference finals. And I hope it goes 7 games. Because back in the day, the reason why they won so many games is because they wanted that Game 7 at home. And I would like to see Celtics and Cleveland, Game 7 in Cleveland. And same thing with OKC. Whoever they face, that Game 7 in OKC. And in the past, the home team will win because of home cooking. They get the better whistle, whatever the case was, and that's the way. Because that to me is will fix this load management. Because seeding used to be important back in the day, and now not so much. So,
all right, appreciate the call.
Thanks, Cologne.
Cologne wants to see a Game 7, Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Boston Celtics in Cleveland. But second teams there, if you're going to root for somebody, I think the NBA is the league to do it.
It's professional's off limits for me. If I had to pick,
you can't do college is fair game. You already have 4 college teams. You're not going to add another one. You gonna add Florida?
I was gonna add.
You can't add Florida.
I was gonna add Gator football. Uncle Herb coach there. Uncle Herb coach there.
You can't do that. You can't be an Ohio State football fan and add Florida.
If I had to pick one,
I think that would make sense.
This is me having to pick one.
Yeah,
it's Florida football. If I had to pick a Florida team, I think it'd be Gator football.
I think the Miami Heat is there for the taking, in my perspective. Well, yeah. I wouldn't root for them, but if I had to choose one.
Professional is absolute and listen, call it the
I think it's the other way around, though.
It probably is, but call it the ridiculousness of me being a Cleveland fan. I can't fathom having more professional teams
of playing for a team or working for a team, there is no attachment between sports fandom and the pro sports teams.
I disagree.
There are millions of people that attend universities that automatically make you root for the college team that ties you to that university. So there is less of an explanation to root for a different university.
I think my situation is very peculiar, being around it through my old man, like going to work with my dad at these games and season tickets and taking buddies. And I
think everybody in Cleveland would probably share your sentiment.
Agreed,
though, because
110%.
Cleveland breathes those
That's what
sports.
I mean. It's different. And I'm not trying to make everything about me in Cleveland like how I sometimes do. It's different there. It's completely different there. We don't care about anybody else but our own.
There is 4% of the country. I'm talking about the other 96.
I don't know. New York fan, I feel like would be the same way with their teams. I think Chicago fan is the same way with their teams.
Cleveland, there's not as much. You're Cleveland, and a lot of the ways you're born and raised Cleveland. In New York, people are coming in from everywhere to live in New York City. You're not necessarily adopting the Yankees immediately when you're doing that. You got to think about that's why the Midwestern cities have their charm. Because Detroit people, I mean, some people have to move into Detroit to work, but it's a proud sports city, similar to Cleveland. It's a proud sports city. That's why it almost works, because it's not like a revolving door of people like LA, like South Florida, like New York.
And it's hysterical. Like, we're allowed to complain and groan about our team, but the moment someone else does, it's, all right, chill out, man. You know what I mean? It's like the defensiveness kicks in, and it's a whole thing. But it's fascinating. The second team stuff is fascinating. And Christian, I hear you. Maybe I am the 4%, and I need to take the blinders off of it.
The thing about taking in Florida, if you're going to take in Gator football, when are you going to go to a game? It's up in Gainesville.
You're right. But and here's another thing for me, too. I can't stand Alabama for past sins against the Buckeyes. Georgia, the same way. LSU, the same way. Florida, you got to go back to Uncle Herb, who made up for his sins by winning a championship in 2014. So if I had to pick a relevant SEC team, it would be Florida.
That makes sense. No, I'm with you.
It would be Florida.
I root for Florida football. I decided when I came down to Florida, I want to pick one of the Florida universities to root for in the fall. Why not? Let's have some allegiance here. And you know what? You have more reason than me because of the Urban Meyer connection. You have a shared love with Gators fans.
Right. And to the sense that, to get behind the team this year, I think is great. The coach hung on by a thread. They played well at the end of the year, and they have a 5-star quarterback that everybody wanted.
You have a Florida team that you root for, Colin?
He said that
more than the others.
I don't think I'm taking any. I don't think I'm taking it.
I don't want to take it.
I haven't needed regionality in my sports fandom my entire life.
He's missing the question. The question is if you had
if I had to, I'd probably have to take the Miami Heat because of how bad Charlotte is.
Christian, if I had to take one, I'm taking Florida football, and you already took Florida football.
Yeah, it's fun to root for SEC football. It's great environments. You're always playing good, competitive, or fun environments that those games are played in.
Now I am a Big Ten gatekeeper. Is that okay?
But you've got a little bit. You've got a little bit of jealousy.
I just change up my SEC fandom on based on what team I like watching.
National champions. Christian, we got 2 national championships in a row over there, Mr. Penn State. Come on. I'm gatekeeping.
For the SEC, for me, whatever team is really fun to watch and you enjoy watching, that's sort of the team. Like, all right, I'd prefer to see them win games because how I view the teams I don't root for when I watch them is I want to root for the best possible outcome for postseason. I want to root for the best possible series, best possible 12 teams to make the playoff. I want to root for the best conference finals. If it's the NBA, I want to root for the best World Series. That's how I do it.
Until the A's, the Jags, and the Hornets are involved.
Well, yeah. But when the Dodgers and the Yankees are both in the National League Championship Series and the American League Championship Series, I was okay with the Mets and the Dodgers. But Dodgers-Yankees, probably the best for the sport. I sort of think about it from that perspective.
Fair.
Kevin and Lake Worth on Russo and Rizzo. Kevin, what's up? What's your perspective here?
Yeah, so I used to be somebody that used to be so against having 2 teams. But growing up here in South Florida, I was always a Miami guy. For some reason, I never liked a team that started with Florida. So Florida State, Florida Gators, Florida Marlins, Florida Panthers. And I latched on to the Colorado Avalanche for some reason. It's a long story. I won't drag on about it. But in the last 3 to 4 years, I've started to go to Panther games a lot more. And experiencing playoff hockey with the Panthers, I've kind of adopted the Panthers being my second team. So I've kind of come around on that. But I want to kind of get your perspective on this because you guys started talking about college teams. Now, I'm a huge Miami Hurricane fan. I got accepted to University of Miami. I did not have $45,000 a year to go to Miami.
Fair.
I will still root for Miami. I have season tickets to Miami. If I can persuade you guys to be Hurricane fans and come down to some tailgates, please open invite. But I had a friend say that he's more of a fan of his team because he went to the college, even though I know this friend was a UF fan and then went to UCF because of a girl, which did not work out, was not a love story of the century. But he had the nerve to tell me he's more of a fan because he went to UCF and I didn't go to Miami. So what's your take?
All right. So Kevin says that his buddy who went to UCF to follow a girl, I think that's an irrelevant part of the actual thing he was getting at, but I understand the idea.
Love didn't win.
And he was a UF fan, but he claims that he is a bigger UCF fan than Kevin is a Miami fan because he has an actual tie to UCF, whereas Kevin does not.
So this is where I stand on this. If you're from South Florida, you could be a Miami Hurricane fan. You don't have to go there. I have a ton of buddies who arguably are bigger Ohio State football fans than I am, and they never step foot on the university to get an education. If you're from Ohio, I'd say 90% of the time you're a Buckeye fan. So, Kevin, my answer is easy. You're from South Florida. You grew up here. You have every right in your mind to be a Miami Hurricane and raise your kids to be Hurricane fans. Don't listen to, Joe Schmo who went to UCF chasing after lost love. Okay? Good luck to the Knights, too. They hang some ridiculous banner. What was it, 2017 when they went undefeated? They acted like they won the whole thing. Absolute loser move.
888-760-3776. The prospect of adopting a second team in a specific sport. Is it all about regionality? Is it about ties? Let us know. Do you have one? Why did you choose it? He might have opened me up a little bit. I think regionality should be a big deal. That's the whole reason why you're choosing a team.
It is.
The Florida Panthers are right there. The NHL is American sports' most regional sport, in my opinion. It is. Check out the TV markets, check out who watches what teams where, and it's all about regionality. And the Florida Panthers being right here, I'm an Islanders fan, but, I mean, how many times can I go to an Islanders game every year? It's impossible for me to go. So that makes a little bit more sense. Hockey's an in-person, live, in the thick, in the flesh. That I could listen to. I like that one, honestly, more than I like Miami because it's more exciting, because it's more the regionalization is actually within arm's reach. And how often are you going to an NBA game? They're priced out.
They are.
It's a little easier to go to a hockey game. I know the Florida Panthers probably charge a heftier ticket, but still.
Yep, and last thing for me on this, to throw another wrench, I have siblings who work for organizations, which makes things even more. I mean, brothers with the Tampa Bay Lightning, sisters with the Mavericks, and I have gotten defensive about the Mavericks on this show because of that, but just to make things even more crazy, there's that side of it too.
Taking a time out here on the top of the hour, doing a little 5 at 5 on the flip side of things. Stick around for second hour of Russo and Rizzo on a Friday edition. It's coming right back at you at ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
While it's not always possible to see contaminated water coming out of the faucet, the taste is difficult to ignore.
Ugh.
And what about plastics and pharmaceuticals now in the water? The team at Culligan is here to help. Culligan offers water testing and reverse osmosis systems designed to filter out those contaminants right at the source. Culligan has been helping the local community with water issues since 1936. Schedule your appointment today at Culligan.com.
Hey, Culligan man!
This is ESPN 106.3, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Find official rules for all your favorite ESPN West Palm contests by visiting ESPNWestPalmContests.com. That's ESPNWestPalmContests.com. You're listening to ESPN 106.3, the ESPN app, and streaming on your smart speaker.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at KaiserGolfCenter.com.
Let's go to the Rapids. Go splash, go wild, go together. With over 40 water slides and family-friendly fun, there's something for everyone. Right now, save up to 45% off tickets and season passes. Upgrade and get unlimited visits and free parking all summer long. Experience the all-new Mega Mayhem, Florida's first dueling water coaster. Hurry, this offer ends April 30. Rapids, South Florida's largest water park. Let's go.
The new Spring Blizzard menu is here at DQ Grill & Chill. Cue the confetti! The Blizzard of the month is the Confetti Cake Blizzard, a delightful blend of confetti cake pieces and confetti frosting, mixed perfectly with DQ's world-famous soft serve. The Confetti Cake Blizzard, just part of the new Spring Blizzard menu, which also features s'mores, cotton candy, and 2 brand new blizzards, dipped strawberry cheesecake, and mixing bowl mashup. DQ Grill & Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
Is your air or water flowing perfectly in your home? If the answer is no, EDS is yes. Theo here, and for me, EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing is my go-to, and it should be yours too. EDS is Palm Beach County's trusted AC and plumbing expert. They'll make sure your air and water flow perfectly. EDS is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. Go to EDSIsYes.com. That's EDSIsYes.com. When comfort matters, EDS is yes.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. What's going on? Our show ended hours ago. I'm supposed to be home by now. People are expecting me. Let me out of here. Hey!
This is ESPN 106.3's Mike Rizzo, and recently I had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Vani Sabason, and Dr. Sabason is currently paving the way for women in the orthopedic medicine industry.
You got to work hard. You got to be the best. Takes time and effort, right? You got to be committed to whatever you do. You got to dream big and be inspired. I think now we're up to 10%, so that's a great 1 in 10. It's a lot of onus on your shoulders. I think not only just to be an athlete, but to make sure we take athletes seriously, both women and men. And I think we've come a long way over my career, but to me, it's exciting to sort of set the way, but also sort of lead the path, not just by example, but how we treat patients, how we talk to women athletes, just like men, and how we get people back to doing what they love.
That was Dr. Vani Sabason with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362 or go online to pbhnphysiciangroup.com.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. Did you know that ESPN 106.3 is now made with 30% more electrolytes? Electrolytes? Isn't that great? It's what plants crave. Electrolytes. ESPN 106.3 is really good for you.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy!
Light him up, Colin!
In my opinion, after a little bit of a dead period up and down, you just got the Masters, you get the end of the NCAA tournament. Now it's time where the sports world really ramps up into gear. You got the NFL draft next week. You got the NHL playoffs starting this weekend. You got the NBA playoffs starting this weekend. There's no better time to get started and download the Hard Rock Bet app now, because you could sprinkle a little action on all these games, put together an intricate parlay, put together overs, unders, you name it. MLB regular season's going on. Get involved with that. Futures. They got it all covered. Every league you could possibly. They got polo this Sunday. If you want to bet on that, I'm sure Hard Rock Bet has it covered. You could bet on literally anything and put together fun parlays. Put as little as $1. Increase your value. Increase your odds. The whole 9 yards. If you try it now, you get up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not hit. That first bet can be a parlay, can be a prop, can be over. Whatever you like to bet in a game you choose, win that first one. I'll get the same amount you bet back as a bonus bet. It's Hard Rock Bet, offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager, terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. Christian Cat, our producer behind the glass, as we enter in the second hour of Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Christian, how are you, my friend?
Doing pretty good. Went to the store this morning, got one new box of underwear.
You got a weird little tidbit every time we go to you at the 5 o'clock hour, and today you bought underwear in the morning on a Friday.
Fair play.
How can you have a better weekend than to start it that way?
Did you do this because you didn't want to do laundry? Because you were 12 days into laundry last time we spoke to you, so you bought new underwear instead of just washing
I gotta ask. Did you wash the new underwear?
I haven't worn them yet, but I will not wash the underwear before I wear them now. So, yeah. I'm currently recycling my underwear catalog because I've had this same pack of Hanes. I've had like maybe 8 or 9 of them through the last, from when I was like 16 years old till I'm now.
You've had the same pair of underwear?
No. I've had the same brand and the same cut and the same size and style.
You made me nervous.
Always had that style. Now, I've probably had the same underwear. This bag has probably been 2 years, which is long. You know, underwear goes through a lot of washes, a lot of activity.
Probably a year, maybe 2. I'm entering year 3 in a couple of mine.
They get holes.
So
what do you do about it?
You wear them. I don't know what to tell you.
This is like clockwork, and it's my favorite gift. I get one of my favorite gifts for Christmas. I get every single year. My mother gets me a fresh 12-pack of my Nike socks and a fresh pack of Hanes boxer briefs. And I just immediately throw out the other ones, put in the new ones.
See,
every year, like clockwork, every single year.
So you went to the store today to buy some underwear?
Bought some underwear, bought some new shirts, got a T-shirt.
You went shopping. You didn't just buy underwear. You
Well,
went
yeah,
shopping.
he's saving another week of doing laundry.
You just went shopping.
That is happening. Just at the one store, this bargain store, and I struck gold a couple of times.
So you're gonna watch you're not gonna watch anything before
which
you
is
use it.
just
I don't agree with that.
That is just completely disgusting.
Yeah, especially a bargain store.
Oh,
is this thrifted?
No, it is not thrifted.
Oh.
If it was thrifted and second wear, I would wash it. That would skeeve me out.
Okay.
But this is straight from the factory.
Hang on, skeeve you out? I've never heard that.
It would make me feel
Sketch?
gross.
Sketch? Little sketch?
Maybe close. Yeah, straight from those Taiwanese children's hands onto the plane that brought it here. On
In this economy?
The sporting goods retail employees' hands, and then onto my body.
In this economy?
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's what that clothes have touched, and I trust both of those individuals.
Did you buy Hawaiian shirts?
Oh, yeah, one of them is. Okay. This is beige with some flower.
Do you own a long sleeve shirt?
Got a couple of them.
Yeah? I've never seen you. I don't think I have.
I don't sport it often.
You only wear the Hawaiian shirts, and you wear T-shirts here and there, and the polos here and there.
Yeah, I've kind of tried to build that brand.
I've never seen you in a. Do you have a suit?
I own
a blazer.
Yeah, I wore it for the ESPN Top 63 basketball version, but I bought it for that event.
Oh, so you didn't have a suit before that?
I have one, but it's boring. Dark navy blue, boring white dress shirt. I do not want to wear a suit if I do not have to wear a suit ever, ever.
Christian had an incredible blazer on that only CCAT could pull off at the Top 63.
Yeah, that's coming back to me.
It's the pink one.
I was watching Michigan, Texas A&M, but I did tune in for a little bit.
Christian looked at me and said, "Riz, I'm one of 2 people in the world to have this suit."
Mm-hmm. All right. So I didn't realize because I've never. Other than that, I don't think I've ever seen you in a suit.
I started this actually maybe 13 months ago. When I got back from Puerto Rico, my first time out of the continental United States, I bought a Hawaiian shirt there. And I said, you know what? I kind of like the way this feels. It gives me an edge. And I've been Hawaiian shirt guy since March of 2024.
All right. There it is. We got to make it. We got to take a timeout here. We're a little behind, but we'll do a little 5 at 5 on the flip side of things. Let's do that after this timeout on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
What's the Anajar and Levine difference? If you're the victim of a car crash, you will always speak to a lawyer. You'll always get the highest standard of care from our dedicated legal team, and we'll always fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Don't wait. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
In office, West Palm Beach.
ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet. Home of the Miami Heat, now the new home of Inter Miami. Catch all the games and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 106.3. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida the wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Here's one golf outing that won't make you feel guilty for being out of the office. Sloan Staffing presents the 5th annual charity golf tournament benefiting the Golden Cub Ambassador Club, an initiative of the Nicholas Children's Healthcare Foundation. Teeing off on Friday, April 25th at Madison Green Country Club in Royal Palm. Sign up your foursome, sponsor a hole, or make a donation today by visiting sloanstaffing.com/giveback. That's sloanstaffing.com/giveback.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121. Or visit tworld.com today.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast, professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Banyan Printing. For 47 years, the trusted partner for all your printing, mailing, and signage needs. And 2025 just brought something big to Banyan. Introducing Banyan's new press. Bigger, faster, and more competitively priced than anything you'll find anywhere in the Palm Beaches. Think variable data postcards, bulk mailings, and high-quality print on stocks up to a 24-point board. Banyan Printing. Visit banyanonline.com and discover how your business's printing materials can get bigger and better.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I know you be hearing this and that from here and there, but please trust and believe, little mama. I see you gon' ride for me, so I'ma die for you. Is you with me?
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
All right, let's get to it. Christian Cat, Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Let's kick things into gear a little bit. Let's do a little 5 and 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking big time.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU Athletics. Earn up to $700 per year with boost checking from Flagler Credit Union. Number 1.
Play in action tonight. No, the stats don't count. No, it doesn't count to anyone's record, but seasons are at stake this evening. You have the Heat and the Hawks in the East at 7 o'clock, battling it out for the 8 seed. You have the Mavericks and the Grizzlies battling it out for the 8 seed in the West at 9:30. Which 2 teams will win tonight and be our 8 seeds?
I think we're going to see, unfortunately, if you're a Miami fan rooting for them to lose, I think we're going to see Miami in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Miami wins tonight. The Hawks, I have a bad taste in my mouth of what Trae Young did. I'm not going to go crazy like I did 2 days ago. But I think the Hawks lose tonight. I think the Heat win, and the Heat are about to not have a first-round draft.
And I think the Grizzlies are going to beat them. I think the Grizzlies played well against the Warriors. They put on a winning performance for the most part. That's a tough game to win. I understand that. But I would take the Grizzlies. I mean, hard to beat them in Golden State, too.
I probably will take the Grizzlies, too, as it pains me to say that.
The Mavericks, it's almost a net positive to just get out of the season.
If AD has a good game, though, look out.
Yeah, but get out of the season. Get out of the season. I mean, they need a fresh start. Let's move on. Good for everybody involved.
Number 2.
I don't think that's what he meant, and let's move on. I think he was saying let's move on from the season. But we
Number 2.
Go to number 2. Sticking with the NBA, the actual playoffs begin tomorrow on Saturday with first-round action. Which series are you most looking forward to in the first round?
Clippers-Nuggets, I think has a lot of intrigue. Because the Nuggets, on one hand, how are they going to respond post-Mike Malone, post-Calvin Booth? How is a team going to elevate once again in the postseason? But on the other side of things, the Clippers. This is sort of do or die time for that team. Everybody's healthy at the right time, which is a rarity for that roster. Ty Lue there, they're in a decent spot in terms of location and where they are in the postseason. Kawhi Leonard knows how to elevate for the postseason. This is a dangerous team, and they're dangerous because they're healthy, and they're never healthy. Now, if he can stay healthy for the next 2 months, you're going to be playing playoff basketball. But now that you're here, I think there's a lot to prove on that end. And then on the other end, Denver, without their coach and general manager, how do they respond?
I got Knicks and Pistons and Bucks and Pacers. We'll start with Knicks and Pistons. This is the popular pick, right? The popular pick is that the Pistons are going to upset the Knicks. I personally don't see it. I think Karl-Anthony Towns is probably the best player in the series. And yes, I know Jalen Brunson is playing, folks, but I think, Kat, you're going to see why the Knicks went out and got Karl-Anthony Towns in the postseason, because I know they got Jalen Duren, a nice little rim protector there, but Kat does more than just hang out down low and throw up hook shots. This is a guy who's the complete package, I think, on the offensive end. Now, the matchup, Colin, of Cade Cunningham and Jalen Brunson is going to be interesting, because this reminds me a lot of when the Cavaliers played the Knicks, and the Knicks completely bullied them. Everyone expected Cleveland to win the series. The Knicks bullied them and won in 5 or 6 games. I can see the same thing happening here. I know Thibodeau Ball is probably not going to beat the Celtics and not going to beat the Cavs, but I think it's going to be enough to beat a Piston team and a J.B. Bickerstaff-led Piston team. And Bickerstaff lost to this Knicks team already before with the Cavs. Quickly on the Bucks and the Pacers. Giannis, we talked about it earlier. Is this going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back with Giannis? Kyle, we both talked about it. We think both Giannis and Jokic aren't the type to go, hey, trade me. But certainly things would heat up a bit as the Bucks now would not make a playoff run since 2021 and winning an NBA Finals.
The one thing that turns me off to both of those series is I don't think any of those 4 teams can beat Boston or Cleveland. Because of that, I think if whoever's going to move on to the second round of that Western Conference, I think any of those 4 teams can make a run. I don't know about that if I'm thinking about the Eastern Conference, which is why I'd probably be leaning the other direction. But I understand the point.
Knicks fans would argue the Knicks, but
clearly, yeah. I was surprised by that. Yeah, Knicks are
drunk on the Knicks.
They're a well step below the top of the West. They don't have the consistency, and they don't have a coach that elevates the team in the postseason. Problematic, but they're healthy, so we'll see. Moving on.
Number 3.
Shedeur Sanders alongside Travis Hunter. They're both getting their jersey retired at Colorado. Sanders went 13-11 as quarterback of the Buffaloes. The move has received a little bit of a backlash from people like myself and Theo Dorsey and more of the media across the country because Cordell Stewart, Darian Hagen's jerseys, they're not retired. What do you make of this move by Coach Prime's Colorado Buffaloes?
It's the dumbest thing ever. It's the dumbest thing ever. These guys, they were still on campus 2 months ago. Oh, my God. And for what? Winning 8 games? Missing the postseason? Having a terror?
13-11, pal. It's ridiculous. I understand Hunter, believe it or not. Kid won a Heisman.
I understand Hunter in a couple years. The guy that he hasn't even entered the NFL yet. He hasn't even entered. He's still in classes.
How about my guy, Coach Prime?
I don't know about this.
Coach Prime.
And didn't Dion, aren't you setting up Shedeur for a tough situation there? Getting the attention, bringing Colorado back.
Wait, Colorado didn't win the college football playoff last year?
Right? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but at the same time...
I understand a Heisman trophy, but why this soon? Why this soon? What good does that do anybody? Is it good? Is it a recruiting trip?
It's maybe that, and maybe it's a start of something special.
Oh, God.
Is it a start of something special?
I don't know.
They're giving him $10 million a year. It better be.
They had that god-awful loss to Jalen Daniels and that Kansas team to knock them out of the consideration for the college football playoff. But they lost by 3 touchdowns.
Right.
They were awful.
They got smoked.
And then we're going to retire the guys who were directly contributed to that.
Yeah.
The best Colorado game I remember is when they beat Colorado State week 3 of the season. What was that, 2 years ago?
Yes.
And that was a great game.
Yep.
It's against Colorado State. How are we going to retire that jersey? I don't know. That's a little much. But you understand it. They're building a brand, and that just tells you that program is unserious about actually honoring the history of the program and more about building a brand. Less of a program, it's more of a brand. That's what Colorado is. Travis Hunter, great. We can talk. Do it in 5 years like every other franchise in the history of professional and collegiate sports. That's all I'll say. Now what's next?
Number 4.
The Yankees beat the Rays at George Steinbrenner Field last night on a road game. Remember, that's where the Rays play their home games this year due to the hurricane damage to Minute Maid Park. Tropicana. Why did I say Minute Maid? Tropicana Field.
Used to be Houston.
Both juices. Jazz Chisholm got ejected for arguing balls and strikes. He was not happy with what happened, caused an episode on the field, ran to the clubhouse, tweeted out, "Not even effing close," and has since been suspended 1 game and fined an undisclosed amount.
Yeah.
Who looks worse in the situation? The umpire who blatantly gets the strike call wrong, or the player who blows up after the fact?
Player. What good does going to social media do you? You want to get ejected to prove a point? Great. But you want to get suspended a game? Anything outside of that specific game, I think you're acting to the detriment of your team, especially when it has something to do with social media. The umpire's not going to read social media, but
got you next time.
It was a strike, or it wasn't a strike. That's where it gets stupid. Now you're just trying to make a scene for yourself, trying to make it seem like trying to validate you getting ejected. Guys get ejected all the time. Managers get ejected. All-time great managers ejected all the time. Guys have gotten into fights. I understand that. There's heat of the moment, not against the Rays at Steinbrenner Field and getting ejected for a regular season game. That, I think, looks bad on the player.
Him going to social media made it bad on him. If he would have just got ejected and left it at that, the umpire looks like you know what. And listen, I'm the one that wants the automatronic umps. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Listen, what are we doing here? Oh, hey, this guy's got a tight strike zone. Make sure you tighten up on a 2-2 count. What are we talking about? Your tight strike zone. The strike zone is the strike zone. Something I'll never, ever understand. It has bothered me all the way back to when I was playing meaningless Little League Baseball. It's time to get the automatronic umps. I'm all done with it. Secondly, I think it's Chisholm more angry that he's batting $127 this year. It's been a rough year. Outside the first series, it's been a pretty rough year for Chaz so far. So, listen, I understand the frustration. My man, just don't take it to social media.
He's such a phony.
Just don't take it to social media. Be the ump's fault if you did it.
You have a poster boy outside of the postseason of how to handle yourself with media, with fans, with the team, and on the field, and Aaron Judge. Right there. Whatever he does, do that. There's your role model. All right? Other than that, don't worry about it. Jeez, I agree. Is that it? Are we at number 5?
So hang on, Christian, before you go, do me a favor. Before you get into number 5, tighten up. Tighten up on that batting stance. He's going to call that outside stuff. Ridiculous.
Today is National Exercise Day for those who celebrate. And with that said, Colin, we're getting closer and closer to your half Ironman. How's the training coming?
Swam this morning. I go into the pool today, and it's a coach I hadn't had. And
what's it tell you to do? Breathe in, breathe out?
They drills, distances, timing intervals. You'd be surprised. It gets tricky. And I'm like, looking to get a good of rhythm on today. I just want to swim slow, test out the distance rather than the actual, the intensity and the speed. And he goes, "You're not doing that today. It's Fast Friday."
And then you slap your forehead. Of course it is.
It is 5.
How did I forget?
It is 5:40 in the morning. It's what? It's Fast Friday. Gear up. We're going fast. We're not going slow. Do it another time. Let me do it another time. What? All right. It was Fast Friday, so we had a good time. Other than that, but
nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I think exercise, if we're going to talk on a broad scale, it's a crucial part of the routine for me. I think I need to do it in the morning. I've always done it in the morning. It's always been the first thing I do usually during the day. I don't know. Once it becomes routine, though, you can get used to anything.
Yeah.
People don't want to get into it. All you got to do is get used to it. Turn it into routine, and then all of a sudden you won't stop.
It's wake up at 7:30 now, in the gym by 8:30, Monday through Friday. I go Saturday, but it's light. I'm the kind of person that I need to go 5-6 days a week because I used to be really, really heavy. So, I got to go. For instance, today, I ran a mile, and then I threw on my favorite TV show and just walked on incline for the next 2.
Don't you feel weird, though, Like not doing. I looked at
Not
Christian.
working out? Yeah. Dude, Colin, it's the only thing. Like, say if I
You feel
sleep
weird
in.
after.
Like, because, like, my end time at work is, granted, unless I'm working really late, like last night when I had to cover a high school flag football game 40 minutes away. But my end time's 11. So, like, you know, I like getting in there 7:30, 8 o'clock. And if I don't, Colin, I think about it all day. And, like, it's this time at the end of the show, like, God, I seriously have to go to the gym. Like, I cannot believe I did not work out this week.
I can't believe you weren't a morning guy before you.
I was always, it was usually after work because.
I'm surprised by that.
Because,
I don't like that routine.
Yeah, and
you've changed
I've
your mind
changed
now.
it. Yeah,
It's so much better that way.
You made me see the light.
It's so much better.
Go to bed an hour early and get up an hour earlier.
It's just it's almost like a turn your brain off moment.
It is.
Like you think you're sluggish in the morning, and all right, be sluggish and go do something.
Right. And, you know, like you said, us humans are such creatures of habit. The routine is just impeccable.
That's it. You can really you can get used to anything.
Like
you just got to do it consistently.
Yeah, and not to be that guy, like, you know, you see it, and once you get into the routine, you're seeing the results too, you know? So.
Not to be that guy. Mike sees an extra, ab showing. Hold on a second.
Man.
All right. That's what matters. That's
it's
why we do it.
Season.
That's
Christian,
why we get up.
Christian, you already lost your weight. You're good, but it's beach season coming up.
Hold on. Beach season's all year round.
It is, but truly, summertime, technically, I guess. I wanted to lose 15. I'm like 7 pounds there right now, so I got about 8 more to go.
Christian, are you going to be picking up a routine anytime soon?
No.
Hang on. He was drinking a lot of water. But no names, please.
That was a
Christian
big
doesn't drink
for him.
He doesn't drink water, and
I haven't touched a drop of water in maybe 2 weeks.
I was about to say today.
Are you kidding me?
So, Colin, today I noticed I walked in here. There was some sugary explosion in a no names, please fast food cup, and I'm like, Christian's falling off the water wagon.
The wagon.
He's falling off the water wagon. He's back to drinking.
When you have dinner? What do you drink with it?
Oftentimes strawberry lemonade.
Oh my
it's
God.
one restaurant.
Other
sugar explosion in a
my
cup.
God.
That's the one thing I don't do is the sugar.
Strawberry lemonade.
Colin, I'd rather pig out on like
Hawaiian punch.
Dude. I'd rather pig out on Chipotle than get the calories and sugar.
What do you drink when you wake up in the morning? What do you drink immediately? You're thirsty in the middle of the night. What do you have, an orange juice?
You having Hawaiian punch?
I don't really get thirsty that much in the morning. I pick up my morning iced coffee.
Colin, the first thing I do every morning is grab a water bottle from my fridge and immediately.
Do you not have anything on the nightstand just in case you need to drink something in the middle of the night?
The nightstand's on the other side of the bed, and that goes to my girlfriend. So unless I want to make a big ordeal about waking up and then getting around the bed or tapping her to hand it to me.
Is the bed in a corner?
No.
Dude, you're
put a water bottle on the floor.
No. Dude, Christian, you want to know what you are? You are a camel. You could drink like one glass of water
Put
and
a
water
bottle on the floor. It's
you are
right
a camel.
There. Unless you were landlocked in the corner.
I'm constrained.
Put something on the ground.
Landlocked, buddy.
I'm constrained to this control room 4 hours out of the day. So if I drink a lot of water, I got to make a lot of trips to the restroom, and I just simply don't have it time of my day. I don't even have a lunch break on this job.
That's not an excuse.
It's not. I agree.
That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse.
You can ask every intern that's ever sat to my left.
How
and
are you
around.
I don't understand. Like how many did you actually have any water today?
No.
Did you have any water yesterday?
No. Strawberry lemonade, iced coffee, and a little bit of Arnold Palmer.
Dude,
you had 3 total drinks all day.
If you look at the labels of all 3 of those drinks, I
know there's water and like everything, but you didn't have any strict like glass bottled water.
No, not from the spigot. No straight water.
Have you ever drank a gallon of water in a day?
Probably when I was going heavy on the water a couple months ago, yeah.
Going heavy on the water.
That's why I said he's off the water. I told you he's off the wagon, dude.
So you've heard of keto. You've heard of vegetarian, veganism. A lot of people on the water these days. You ever hear about that?
Have you ever water fasted?
Yes.
Probably on accident.
Are you familiar with this?
Probably on accident.
This is like when you just have water for like 2 or 3 days, and it's like supposed to be like the ultimate flush for your system.
You clear your system out.
No.
You don't have anything. It's just water.
No.
You have not done that.
I do essentially accidental intermittent fasting because
What is accidental? How often do you forget to eat? How long?
Well, think about my hours. They're 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Most days.
Right. So
I don't eat breakfast.
You'll forget.
I choose not to eat breakfast almost every single day. My breakfast, in quotation marks, is my iced coffee driving into work in the morning.
It's not iced coffee, by the way. It is a candy
So you have one meal a day?
Yes.
Dinner.
Yes.
Dinner.
Yes.
Is it a big dinner?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Right. And
I'm probably hitting like the 1,000 to 1,200 calories on my dinners, yeah.
So 1,200 calories, excluding all the drinks, 1,200 calories on a day.
Plus, yeah, the iced coffee sustains me as my
So the iced
whatever.
coffee, which is extra like 700 calories.
Correct.
So we're at like 2,000, and 70% of it
is sugar.
Is your coffee.
It's
Dude, you got to
sugar.
start drinking some water.
3 caramel,
I'm worried
5
about your
cream.
health.
Kidney stones.
I'm worried
You
about
get
your
kidney stones
That's a
that
good
way.
point.
The thing is, you
do.
can't just say caramel and extra cream because sometimes extra cream means 4, sometimes it means 7. That's too many. You got to say 3 caramel, 5 cream for my iced coffee. Or else I get it wrong. I can't take any chances.
Do you ask for sugar? How much sugar do you ask for?
No sugar.
No sugar. Oh,
There's sugar in the.
Yes, there's sugar
I don't
in
know
the
how
cream.
it works. I don't know how it works. I don't drink iced coffee. I'm fascinated by this. Dude, I don't know how you're alive.
I got to be honest. 2 days of no water?
That's insane.
That is nuts.
It's like people that wash their hands too much. They treat their body like a temple so that once there is some bacteria or something that could hurt them, it does hurt them. I put my body through trials and tribulations. I can handle it.
What about on a hot day? You live in South Florida.
On a hot day, when we were broadcasting at Vero Beach's Jackie Robinson training facility.
That was the last time you had water?
Yeah, I had water that day.
That was Tuesday. That was the last time you had water.
And then I went to a you're going to hate me for this. I went to this place called Sonic, and you can customize your drinks there.
Sonic's
So
awesome.
we got a Route 44 with sugar-free Sprite. I added
sugar-free
cream.
Sprite.
Thank God.
Added cream, added peach, added mango. Got one of those, half off the drink.
Dude,
so
if
that
I was the
$4.
Sonic employee, I would refuse to serve you.
And then I got a Route 44 water.
If that was the order, I would refuse to serve you.
This is a thing. You customize your drinks at places like that. I'll show you the Facebook
So
page.
hold on. So let me get this straight. The last time you had water straight out of a bottle, out of a cup, out of a faucet, whatever it might be, was Tuesday.
And then at Sonic after. Yes, on
And
Tuesday.
then that was the point of the Sonic.
I got both the sugary contraption that you should try and another Route 44 water, which was $1, which is kind of crazy.
And the first thing you drink, I'm more shocked that you don't have anything to drink overnight.
Yeah, like if things go bad and we lose source of water, I'll live longer than both of you, and I'm confident in saying that.
That we
No
can agree
arguments.
on. That we can agree upon.
Colin, Colin and I have been on remote so much. He always has his Wisconsin canteen. He's always drinking from that.
32 ounces.
And one of our part-timers, her name is Barb. She's a great person. She knows the drill. She'll run and grab 6 bottles of water so I could last 2 hours outside. I mean, I realistically, boys, 10 bottles, 12 bottles, 10 to 12 bottles of water a day.
8 traditional bottles, I think, is a gallon.
I do about 10 to 12.
Not this guy.
The first move I do when I wake up, Kyle, before I have my
Is this
coffee.
like a chore for you? Why don't you just drink? Why don't you just have a little water?
It is a little bit of a chore,
But like
yeah.
you don't consistently work out, right? That's
No.
like Kyle. With as much as we work out, we need need water.
I drink water when I play golf. When
I'd hope.
When I go to the driving range.
It's
And then
not
if I'm
Hawaiian
on-
Punch.
If I'm on the course, it's more transfusions and spiked Arnold Palmers and like vodka seltzers, which is water in that.
Let's say you have a night out. Do you have water the next morning?
So you're drinking booze.
You kind of have
You're
to.
drinking
You kind of
booze.
have to. Oh, you kind of have to. That's so.
You wake up with a dry mouth. That's the hangover symptom I get more than any other. Not the headaches, not the throwing up. It is the dry mouth.
The cotton mouth.
There's a remedy for that.
Water.
It's called water.
That defeats the purpose. When you're drinking
Dude, I'm
alcohol.
blown away by this. I'm blown away by this.
We've done this multiple times, but
No, but
this
this is 3 days.
a new
This is
level.
3 days. This is 3 days.
You
You
have
haven't
not
had water in 3 days.
dude, your new nickname is the Camel for me.
I
You
bet
don't need water.
Bet I can make it to Monday. Want to have a nice radio bit? See how long I can go without water?
No, because then we're not going to show up on Monday, and I'm going to have one guess of where you are.
You're gonna be on an IV at the local hospital.
I have heard that I'm at risk of kidney stones because
That's what
of this
I told
diet.
you. That's what I told you.
I don't want to pass those.
That
my
is true.
God.
It's all about a salted
Dude.
diet, and if you if you have too much sodium in that area, that's where in your kidneys and no water to dilute it. That's what happens.
Although that would bring me one step closer to seeing a laser in action, because you might not have to pass it.
Let's move on.
Zip it up.
Let's move on. Let's move on. That's Christian Cat. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo.
How many chances on your day-to-day life can you interact with a laser? Not many.
It's Russo and drink some water. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. We blitz the book next.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
The new Spring Blizzard menu is here at DQ Grill & Chill. Cue the confetti. The Blizzard of the month is the Confetti Cake Blizzard, a delightful blend of confetti cake pieces and confetti frosting, mixed perfectly with DQ's world-famous soft serve. The Confetti Cake Blizzard, just part of the new Spring Blizzard menu, which also features s'mores, cotton candy, and 2 brand new blizzards, dipped strawberry cheesecake, and mixing bowl mashup. DQ Grill & Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. As you have likely seen and heard, law firm advertising is at an all-time high. Attorney ads seem to be part of every radio and TV commercial segment. Some firms are even using paid actors and actresses to speak for them. At Smith Ball Baez and Prather, we know that the decision to hire a law firm should never be based on advertisements alone. It is our past results and many positive 5-star reviews that we encourage you to read at smithball.com to learn more about our law firm. We have board-certified lawyers. We have lawyers listed in the best lawyers in America and in super lawyers. But most importantly, we have experienced lawyers located right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast that are ready to be your advocate and your voice, and fully prepared to start fighting for your legal rights today. Our purpose, legal power. Our mission, huge results. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Close out the program here on a Friday edition, April the 18th, 2025. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Hard Rock Bet. Guess what? Battle of the Bets is going on right now. Today's total bet bonus bets, about $1 million. $1,060,000. That's how much it is. And all you got to do is bet over or under if each team in the Miami Heat Atlanta Hawks game will score 115 or more points, or each team in the Miami Atlanta Hawk game will score 104 or fewer. And it includes overtime. You have to choose that. That's as easy as the pick is. And if you get it, all of a sudden, you get the odds, you get the money, you get the payout of that $1 million spread about whoever gets it. That's how good some of the promos are. We're getting to some more and make a parlay. I think it's time for us to blitz the book here, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Send some heat. Pin your ears back. It's time to blitz the book. Presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Blitz in the book, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3 with Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, and Christian Cat. We're going to put together a parlay. We're going to take advantage of some parlays, all right, some boosts and promos that they have available to us. All right, how about this? That Battle of the Bets intrigues me. The plus 650 is the Overs Club and the Unders Club. They're both plus 650. It's the Miami Atlanta Hawk game. It's for each team and their over-under. I think we should do something with this.
Okay. I lean towards Miami.
No, but it's each team. It's just the amount that they score. It's if each team scores 104 or fewer, you win. If each team scores 115 or more, you win.
At plus 650 odds.
That's it.
I say more the better. I think defense will be optional with Trae Young and the Heat tonight. I think the Heat put up 115.
I lean the other way.
Okay.
I don't know, Christian.
Hang on. Can I I got to say, the last time we did an over-under, it cost us $1,200.
All right, so
that is the battle of the bets. So we're going to do
this. It
this
cost us $1,200 the last time we missed an over-under on this show.
That sounds good. We're not doing that. We're doing this, which is the battle of the bets.
But hold on. But he's alluding to the fact that I made the pick and we got burned.
The last time we bet an over-under.
I made the pick. I took an over and the under hit. So keep that in mind, too.
So we should not trust.
Hold on, Mike. We took the over when the under hit. That was that Minnesota-Brooklyn Net game.
I'm fine. Listen, whatever theme you guys see here, I'm fine with tailing. But I just wanted to throw that out there. We were one bet away from winning $1,200 last week, and it was an over-under bet.
Remember we took the Penn State Notre Dame under? And we got burned in the fourth quarter by about 30.
We're so bad with
30,
over. Dude,
32 points in the fourth quarter.
I lost an over-under bet in the MLB. We don't do over-under bets well on this show historically. But.
You want to root for points? I'd root for points. Points is fun.
All right, fine.
Christian, are you with this?
I want to pick one of the sides of the battle of the bets. That's what I want.
Do you want to pick the over or the under side?
I want to not do an over-under that you chose. So I'm going under with Rizzo.
Okay.
We lost with Collins over-under.
Hold on.
We're going to win by fading Collins over-under.
Hold on. But I was team under, and then I changed my mind to team over. So which side are you against?
What do you want? You wanted the over, now you lean the under?
Let's do under.
Okay, go under.
Under sounds like the theme.
Did I get what I wanted here?
You did.
Indirectly?
You did.
Okay. Interesting. All right, so we're taking the under there. That's the Battle of the Bets over on the Hard Rock Bet app.
Not the legitimate under, but the Battle of the Bets under.
Battle of the Bets under, which is each team under 104 points apiece. And if we win that, we get a piece of that $1 million cash pot that Hard Rock has to offer. All right, so that's what we got there. We got to put together a parlay here. And we got to touch this play-in game. Not the overs and unders, because we already did that with Battle of the Bets. I think we had to take this with the spread. The Heat are favored -2 here. I would take the Heat here.
I love that bet. I fade Trae Young in his temper tantrum.
See,
absolutely.
This is all about you not liking Trae Young, but I understand.
Fade Trae Young in the temper tantrum. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, Dallas Mavericks are +6 here against the Memphis Grizzlies tonight in the other playing game.
Do we touch it? I don't even think we touch it.
I don't like that one.
Stay away game.
I agree. And you could do the games on Saturday.
Yeah.
So what we have the Milwaukee-Indiana series. Indiana's favored by -5.5 in game 1. Denver is favored over the Clippers, -2.5 in game 1. The Knicks are favored by 7 in game 1 against Detroit.
And that's the highest on a Saturday game.
Will that be a nerves? Lakers are favored by 4
Believe it or not,
over Minnesota.
Kyle, the bet I like on Saturday is Milwaukee 5.5. It's a lot.
Not in NBA terms, but I understand. You think
I think they could win. Even without Dame, I think they could win game 1. They are hot. They've won.
Right, let's do that.
Kyle, they won their last 5 in a row to end the regular season.
I think it's 5 or is it 7? I think they won 7 in a row.
Yeah, but they're on a they
they're
were hot.
they're on a tear.
I think them being on a tear and 5.5, I think that's a no-brainer.
All right. We can do that on the road, but let's do that.
Yep,
all right.
So hang on. So we got Heat -2. We got Bucks +5.5. Moving on.
All right. Now, Denver's -2.5 here. Do we not want to stay away from this game? I would.
Who do you like?
I would take
this
Denver
is
here.
your series.
I would take Denver here.
Okay.
I think the Clippers are thinking we got to steal one of the two, and I think Denver's actually going to play well in that first game of the postseason.
Okay, perfect. So that's 3. That is Heat -2, Bucks 5.5, +5.5. Excuse me, Nuggets -2.5.
Now let's do one. What do you think about a money line here?
I'll give you the odds. So Detroit +225. LA, well, we're on the Nuggets.
T-Wolves are +145.
You think they could win in LA? I don't think so.
All right. You want to stay away from that?
I stay away.
Right.
I stay away. I think
Golden State +100.
This is where you take it. This is the game you take it. It's +100 and -120. Both great odds. For our parlay specifically, great odds to what we already have.
Yeah, the Golden State Houston game.
Yeah.
All right, plus.
You know where I lean. Fake tough guy Ime Udoka or Steph Curry, one of the greatest of all time.
They just need to take. They're not going to sweep them. They need to take one of the two at home.
How about this? Since I am blinded by my fake tough guy Ime Udoka, who do you like?
Let's go with the tough guy. -120.
All right.
Let's go with the tough guy.
That's it. All right, so that's 4. I personally think that's plenty. And let Christian, you want to throw one in there first?
You have one here?
Hang on. Didn't he pick Rory last, or was that us that picked Rory last week?
It was you who picked Rory.
Okay. But do you want to make it 5? Giving us something?
Take the Pistons money line.
Really?
Wow. Pistons plus 225.
Wow.
Let's get some juice in this bad boy.
Right.
A 5-leg parlay.
So that's 20 to win $847. Juicy.
All right.
Juicy.
What was that last one you picked?
Pistons plus 225 on the money line.
Yeah, so it's Pistons plus 225.
Christian's burning us here.
Rockets to win minus 120. Nuggets minus 110. Heat minus 110. Bucks minus 105.
I think you're burning us there, but we'll do it.
All right, so it's 20 to win $847 for our good friends at Hard Rock Bet. Book it.
Yep. I'm in.
And also, this is the last time I'm going to mention it because I literally did not know until the final ticket wrapped up when Rory McIlroy run on Sunday. We were one pick away from winning $1,200, and it was a ridiculous over-under that we should have never taken in the first place with the Nets and the Timberwolves.
Sue me for Minnesota after 134 points
should have known
against the Memphis Grizzlies when the over was 158.
Betting on the Brooklyn Nets to score points. Help us all.
117 to 91 or whatever it was. Oh, we got killed there. We got killed.
It didn't hit by like 20 points.
No, the best part is
20 points. It wasn't even close.
But the Nets had 91 points. We got burned. We got burned.
So I said we bet on Brooklyn to score.
I'll take that one. That one's a rough one. That was a rough one. I thought on a back-to-back, maybe Minnesota would score some points, kill them.
I think the spoiler alert on that was I actually bet 2 baseball games that actually won. I've been so cold on baseball on this show.
Yeah. That's Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. Miss any of the program today, want to listen back? Go listen to Russo and Rizzo on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. All those great places uploaded full day. We got high school game day. We're talking to a coach who just got the job over at Inlet Grove Football right here in Palm Beach County. That's coming up right after this on ESPN 106.3. You can listen to Mike tomorrow on Saturday at Tailgate. You can listen to myself and Kate Chumslin on Sunday Huddle. We'll be back at it on Monday to hopefully break down a full slate of NBA and NHL playoff action. Colin Russo on a Friday edition saying so long. We'll see you next time. It's been Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad.